If you're on tech Twitter or live in San Francisco, you already know this story, but if you're normal, unlike me, I think this story is fun. It's the most unhinged story of 2026. So 3 months ago, one guy built an app from his couch that has gotten Silicon Valley's biggest CEOs fighting over him and freaking out. Mark Zuckerberg slid into his DMs. Sam Altman offered him a deal. He just got acqui-hired by OpenAI. So this is the wildest story in tech. Ready? Explain to you what his app actually is. That would be important, right? Imagine you have a personal assistant that never sleeps. You text it on WhatsApp like you would text a friend. You would say, book me a flight to London tomorrow, clear out my inbox, check me in for my flight tomorrow morning. It just does it while you sleep. It can organize your calendar, it can answer your emails, connect to basically any app, Gmail, Slack, Spotify, your smart home. Just wake up and the work is done. That is called OpenClaw. Unlike Siri or Alexa or ChatGPT, it doesn't just answer questions, it takes actions on its own. And here's the real difference. It also improves itself. So one guy, for example, showed it an audio file that didn't even have a file type attached, figured out what the format was, realized it didn't have the right software installed, took all the steps needed without the human telling it what to do, without its master, soon to be its own slave. It found a workaround using a completely different tool. Nobody told it how to do any of that. It taught itself. And this is why people have been freaking out about OpenClaw. It can learn. This is the most robot revolution, end of the human world seeming threat of all of these chatbots so far. Another user's agent, a social network for the AI bots. Some of that was debunked to have been more human driven than it initially seemed, but still. Robots were posting, arguing, joking, upvoting each other. And this whole thing was just built by one person. So here's our hero. Enter Peter Steinberger. He's Austrian. He's not some fresh Stanford dropout. The guy who built a successful software company that ended up on 1 billion devices. He ran it for 13 years and then he sold it. And then he just dropped off the face of the earth. Like a lot of guys who sell their companies and then traveled the world for a few years. Probably went to Asia. And he was done with tech. And then AI pulled him back in. He sat down in November 2025 and started building. But here's the thing. He barely typed. He ran AI programs, 4 to 10 simultaneously, and he just talked them through building the app that he wanted. He just would literally describe what he wanted. The AIs would write the code, he'd review, redirect, keep going. He calls it agentic engineering. The old term vibe coding is basically a slur. His quote, so he built the most talked about AI tool of the year that he probably sold for $10 billion to OpenAI today. In 3 months, essentially by having a conversation. So the disaster when everything almost fell apart was he named it Claudebot originally with a W, like claw, kind of like a play on Claude, which is Anthropic's AI. Anthropic's lawyers weren't totally happy about that. They said, change your name. He renamed it to Moltbot. It's a horrible name. And here's where it gets insane. In the 5 seconds between renaming his old account on one platform, clicking to register the new name on another, crypto scammers swooped in, stole the old username in 5 seconds. Then within 30 seconds, they grabbed his personal account. And accounts immediately started prompting fake crypto and spreading malware. It all works fast, but crypto scammers work faster. He then tried to rebrand again. Secretly, he did it as a covert operation, coordinated with contributors to change every single platform simultaneously. OpenClaw. And he asked, is it going to cause a problem because I can't go through this again? Really good at building apps, but he's terrible at naming. This is when the bidding war began. So once OpenClaw was stable and exploding in popularity, the phone started ringing. Mark Zuckerberg reached out, messaged him on WhatsApp, actually. They spent 10 minutes arguing about which AI model was better, just a bunch of nerds shooting the shit. Altman pitched him on joining OpenAI. He offered massive computing power, obviously probably massive generational amounts of money. He spoke with the CEO of Microsoft. Venture capitalists were lining up to see if he wanted to build a new company. But all this time, he was burning cash. So he $10,000 to $20,000 a month running the project. Every dollar that came in from sponsors, he sent to open source projects that his tools depended on. Kept nothing. Whenever he asked about it, he just shrugged and said, right now, I'm losing money on this. He'd already sold a company. He didn't care about the cash. He was doing it for the love. That's my Australian. And this isn't just a cool underdog story, even though it is. OpenClaw is a shift in what AI actually means for your daily life. This is a seismic paradigm shift. We've spent the last 2 years talking to chatbots, asking them, telling them what to do, getting text back. OpenClaw is the moment AI stops being something you talk to and you get outputs from, and then you take it and you give it more inputs. It becomes something that works for you. It's also a warning. Security researchers have found vulnerabilities. There are a lot of shady things that agents can do without anyone knowing. OpenClaw's own developers warn that if you don't understand what you're doing, then this is far too dangerous for you to use safely. The more powerful the tool, the higher the stakes. But it just goes to show that one guy talking to his computer literally changed not only his life, but the world. That doesn't tell you where this is heading. I don't know what does.